Hi buddy, welcome to this week's exciting episode of Spotlight. Today in the studio we got Ctea Beat. Welcome to the studio, Ctea.
Thank you.
Awesome. Ctea is from Ghana, and in 2010 he was convinced by his dad to come study music here at EMENDY in South Africa. So after he decided that studying IT wasn't for him, he came here with only $300 to his name. And throughout his musical career, Ctea has worked with major South African acts such as Black Coffee, Swiss Beats, Timo ODV, Tody Mac, and many more. Currently, Ctea is still producing and is showing no signs of slowing down. So, Ctea, first of all, how did you start out as a producer, and walk us through a little bit of your past for the people that don't know you?
Okay, so I started in my bedroom, having a laptop.
Yeah.
Everybody did have a laptop back in the days. So not back, but a cool back in the days.
Yeah.
Okay, so started playing from my laptop, producing. Like I said earlier, I lost a couple of friends from producing because I was always drawn to that more than spending time with the boys and stuff like that. So yeah, which was a very great thing. Started with FL, producing weird beat, but I did, the nicest thing is I did remake beats. So that's how I got to understand sounds, the tones, choice of tones, and many other things, and it was just a great experience. Everything was amazing, I'm not gonna lie. I actually enjoyed making more music more than spending time with the boys, legit.
So you're from Ghana. What made you come to South Africa and study music here at EMENDY?
Okay, it was really a long story, but I'll cut it really short because I'm very good at talking. Anyway, so I traveled here with my dad for a holiday back, which was around 2010, and then he asked me to like escort him for a trip. I wasn't happy because I was going through something what I wasn't happy about. So he was like trying to get my mind off it. So I decided to come here with him, and he was being all daddy, and I remember I had only $300 in my name, like you said, so which was very great. So when I got here, I was driving past down the street and I saw Orange Music, and then I decided to come in. But before we had drove down to the hotel, so then I told my dad, Daddy, please, I saw something, I really want to go check it out, so I'll get back, like I'll let you know when I'm back. He said, okay, fine, go. And then I walked up. I kept walking for almost about, I thought I just saw it here, but now it's really far. So I kept walking. I said, I remember one thing, American Embassy next to the place. Okay, cool, I'm keeping that. So when I saw American Embassy, I just said, come in. I got to the shop and I met Lawrence. He was like, yo man, we have a school here. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, let me check it out. And I enrolled at EMENDY without having to like start in Pro Tools, because that was the main reason I wanted to come to EMENDY. Yes, I remember. That was how.
So this was now Lawrence, the academical director of EMENDY.
Perfect.
Okay.
He was the first person I met,
Yeah.
and then he told me about the courses they enrolled, and I'm like, please, if you start Pro Tools, please call me. And then he did, which was 2012, after 2010. Wow.
That is profound, very, very cool. So we were talking a little bit about back in the day. I mean, kids these days are complaining about the fact that they don't even have to like walk to the front to turn on the PlayStation like we used to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So walk us a little bit through about, through the process of how you started making music with, the equipment you had at the time.
Okay, so I remember I only had a laptop and those JVC rather, JVC speakers.
Yeah.
And it had an aux behind it, so I connected to my laptop, and I had FL, which was already installed. I don't know who did that, so it was already installed on the laptop, and then I just started playing around with stock plugins, and I didn't know how to get sounds and everything, so most of the tones that was on it was basically what was trending back in the days in hip-hop. Your Ja Rules and your 50 Cent and all those guys, they used to have similar sounds there. So I used to play around with them and remake those beats just to see that if I can use this plugin. And then I actually did. Yo, my laptop was really, really looking, but then that time was a bomb. It was the one that everybody wanted to have that,
512 meg RAM,
dude,
like 1.2 gigahertz.
No, the CPU, and the time where we had like the upgrade when it calls, is it Centurion or Centurion or something like that? Pentium 1, Pentium 2, and that time I was running on Pentium 2. Yeah, so I was the guy. That guy.
That's so cool. Right. So for people coming into the industry now, up and coming producers, what sort of advice would you give those guys? How can they become more successful? How could they actually make it in the music industry now?
Wow. I can't really say I have much of the perfect advice for them, but it's only something that I've taken personally, that I never stop. I don't have to give myself a break. I need a break, all right, but not to break from what I want to achieve, because they eventually, the upcoming producers, they have dreams, they have visions, they have plans, and they have goals that they want to achieve and everything. But I prefer them to take everything step by step. Set goals, set plans, look into certain things. I remember I didn't even know what calendar was. I know the calendar, you know, where you can find the date and time and whatever, like the years and stuff like that, you know, months and which day you're in. But I didn't know what it was meant for. Like till now, I can say, okay, my calendar is full. I can now say that. I didn't understand it, but because I got myself into a working process and the mood, that's what they need to put themselves in. They shouldn't be involved in many things that they're not supposed to be doing. Like they shouldn't get drawn to the hype of the society, like doing drugs and having fun, partying, all those things. No, they don't associate with what you do. It's just one of those things on the side. It's you can do that. I don't frown upon that. So, but it's just them. They can do it. But basically, as you're watching me, perfection will only exist when you constantly practice. That's my personal advice to you.
Cool. So what piece of equipment in your studio now can't you live without?
My speakers, my Yamahas. I know somebody has better than me, but I love my Yamahas. Yeah. My Yamaha and Kickstart. I love that plugin. I don't know, just makes everything so cool for me. You know Kickstart, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is.
The sidechain thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
It is a very, very cool plugin.
That guy makes me and my kick and my bass perfect.
Yeah, and do you use any like Native Instruments plugins and those kind of?
Native Instruments, yes. Massive. I love Massive.
Okay.
I actually started designing my own Massive sounds now, which is so cool.
Yeah, that
you
is.
know, EMENDY taught me a lot, man. Don't forget.
So CT, what are you currently working on? What's happening in the life of Ctea Beat?
Okay, so currently I'm working on a club tour for my current single, Hold On. And also, I'm able to, I don't want to go too far, but like I got great sponsors to be on board, and which is amazing. I'm also working on a 7-track EP, of which I take an upcoming artist and then I put a bigger artist on it. I'm just going to be behind the scenes. I'm not going to be singing this time. I'm just being behind the scenes doing the production aspect, just to get my name out there again and again. And then I can bounce back and do a proper like recording for myself, because I have great songs I've written, but just that I just want to put certain things in place first. So that's what I'm currently working on. Also, I'm working on Tapsi's album. I'm also doing a lot of materials for many artists that I just can't disclose now, you know, so yeah.
Right, so would you recommend people to do singles or to also release EPs and make these sort of EPKs and make it a little bit more elaborate?
Okay, great. EPs are good. EPs are very good. What I can say is, if you want to do singles, that means you must also still have the same plan of promoting it the same way you're doing too, because singles are good to get to know how it works in the industry. So when you release, to get numbers, because I mean, don't forget, like, numbers really count, because you can release a whole EP and people listen to him like, oh, this guy is good, but you can be doing EPs, you can be doing singles. In fact, both ways are good, but I prefer singles first. For like, you drop a couple of singles, do a couple of shows with it, see how you're getting into the industry with it, how far it's going, use that opportunity to build relationships, and then you can come up with an EP, and then people can catch on to it. Wow, I like your music. Your EP was great, and then now you can think of an album.
Yeah. So in that same breath, would you recommend people to go into the music industry now? Do you think it's a sustainable career path to follow?
I would recommend people to go into the music industry. I would recommend. It's a challenging industry, but it also has a lot of opportunities for everybody. It's a dream. I mean, I always say music is the only thing that wasn't created on earth. So it's heavenly. And if you have that gift, then I mean, you are a chosen one. I mean, do you think David will leave his guitar?
No,
Ever?
of course not. No.
Exactly. So you know what I mean.
So CT, run us through some of the highlights and some of the lowlights of your career.
Okay, I'll start with the bad ones. My low light was mostly when I was the part that I was thinking of how I was gonna get my career to the top. How I was gonna push myself to be working with bigger people without stressing, without in fact connection. That was all I was stressing about. That was my main thing. Connection. How am I gonna survive? How am I gonna pay my rent? Because now I had this choice of being in SA or go back home. So if I go back home, I'm fine. If I stay here, it's gonna be challenging because nobody else is supporting me anymore. So I was on my own that time. So I was weighing the option of, okay, cool, I'm gonna make a tough decision and this is a risk I'm taking. I'm staying, and however bad it goes, I'm still gonna stand through it and then make sure that it happens for me. So I took the chance. That's where that step the actual decision that I took from that step got me to get my highlight, which was me getting the chance to work with some of the names you've mentioned: Swiss Beat, Black Coffee, Una Rams, Robbie Adams, Mafikizolo, Tapsy, and Tony Mac, and a whole lot of artists and producers as well. And even being on TV, I was on Big Brother Nigeria. It was so cool. People,
that must have been cool.
And I didn't know that I was going to be on it. I was just chilling at home. And then I had a session with Robbie Malinga, the late Robbie Malinga, sorry. He called because I was producing for him on his album, one of his artists that he was managing that time. So he called me to come to the studio in Rosebank, Universal. So I go there. I was late. I was late. I don't know why I was
always,
late. Yeah, no, today I was on time. Today I was on time. So I was late, and then I got there 30 minutes after.
Oh yeah.
So I get to the studio. I just got a call from Patoranki, and he was like, "Hey, bro, where are you?" I'm like, "I've been trying to reach you. I can't get to you." I was like, "Okay, sorry. What's happening?" He said, "Where are you right now?" I said, "I'm in Rosebank." He said, "Do you have your equipment with you?" I said, "I only have my laptop." Said, "Okay, cool. Take this guy's number. He's gonna call you." I was like, "Wow, okay, who's that?" And then the guy calls me from Red Pepper Studio. So he calls me and says, "We are doing Big Brother Nigeria, and there's a big artist from Nigeria called Don Jazzy. He's here, so we need studio equipment too, because I heard that you have mobile studio as well."
Yeah.
I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "Okay, fine. Can you please bring them to the studio in that time and send us an invoice?" I was like, "Whoa, money coming in. Okay." Then I took the opportunity. I told Robbie Malinga, "Boss, please, I need to go somewhere. So here are the files, here are the songs. I've recorded my parts so you can listen to it, and then you guys can re-scratch whatever you want to now." And he was like, "Okay, cool." So I left, I bounced, came back to Pretoria, came to fetch the equipment, and went back to Randburg. And yeah, I actually just got the I can say like 30 minutes of fame on TV, and I realized that many people were watching, and that was good. That was a nice highlight for me last year, not this year.
Most definitely. So you're a former student at EMENDY, and you've also studied music technology.
Yeah.
So how can studying music technology, how can that improve your odds one day of becoming successful in the music industry?
Trust me. I don't even know where to start. Like, okay, let me be very sincere. There's a lot that it happens to you when you're out there. For now, sometimes when you're in it, you feel like it's a waste of time. But when you're outside, you realize that it opens more doors, because your theory, your knowledge, the skill that you, because one simple thing, the skill that you've acquired, you will end up using it somewhere that you probably think you're probably doing something that you just learned from school, but it made an impact in someone's life. It changed someone's record. Some simple thing like a compressor. I know compressor. Back home, the person who I was mentoring, like the person who I was learning from, basically, he was more into, he compresses everything tight. So I took his skill because that's how he does it, so that's how I also do it. And then at some point in my career, like I was still in school, this guy sends me songs for me to master, and I didn't even understand that. Like, I wasn't even there yet. He sends me songs to master. I'm like, okay. It's like compression. And I told him, oh, yo, compression does this one does this, attack does this one does that, so please, you can move them around and you can try it. And then it's like, yo, I like it, send me some more tutorials. Then I had to go online to look for some things that say similar things to what I've been teaching him from here, and send it to him, send him the links, and he started learning. Can you imagine? That was my mentor.
That's very, very, very cool.
It changes a lot of life.
Yeah.
Without you even knowing. From simple things, bruh, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, so CT, how can people that want to work with you or connect with you, how can we get hold of you, and through which platforms?
I know. You want to get to me? Straight up. Celebrity lifestyle. I love saying that. Anyway, you can get to me on Twitter, Ctea Beat, Ctea Beat. Also Instagram, same thing, Ctea Beat. Yes. I'm not on Snapchat. I'm not on Tinder too. So yeah. That
was so cool. Thanks for coming through today, CT.
Thank you so much.
It was a very, very profound conversation. I really enjoyed listening to what you had to say and so on. And I hope there's a lot of advice out there for young people that want to make an impact in the industry now.
Definitely. Please don't do drugs.
So join us for next week's episode. And as always, thanks for watching. Must I promote the ebook again? Because there's so many of ebook. Oh yeah, there's one thing I noticed on the ebook.
Yeah, ebook.
Yeah, we got